Go ahead.
Coach, we were talking to Devon. He said that despite there not being a lot of room out there, that you thought there were good things you guys did on the defensive side, that you maybe did enough. Well, from your perspective, what did you see unfolding out?
Yeah, I didn't love our first period, the checking side of it. I thought we were dangerous offensively. I think we had 7 or 8 chances in the first period and some real good quality. But I thought we needed to get more engaged on the defensive side of things and on our breakouts, like play with a little bit more authority, a little bit more intensity. And then after that, I liked their game. Didn't like the penalties we took in the third period, obviously, when you're trying to come back in a game. And then we made a couple big mistakes, like penalty kill. That's a mistake on their first goal. Later on in the third period, we gave up a couple really good looks from the slot and the penalty kill where we were kind of caught in between and no one was talking. Obviously, the goal at the end, Marty messes up in the neutral zone and then the D zone. So I do think that there's some things that we can clear up there, but overall a good dangerous offensive team right now. And I thought we did a good job on the rush and getting back above it, played with a good conscience, played way harder in the second and third than we did in the first. Just got to capitalize on a few chances. I think that third period, I looked back quickly on that shift, 4.5 minutes to go. We get, I think it's 4 really good looks in there, and we didn't get one of them on net. So it's just one of those days where I didn't think we shot well. But some of our decision making was good, and we were competitive, and we were going to the net. They'd been doing a nice job around the front of their net. But when you get a couple of those looks, got to put them in, and we hit the post a couple times too. So overall, I think pretty good effort, pretty good game.
Is it safe to define Mackenzie Blackwood as kind of a calming presence back there? You guys, obviously, they had that late push. They get that third pound kill, and he still makes that strong save, and it just kind of felt like he was still.
Yeah, he's locked in. I mean, we have a chance to win a hockey game. I expect all of our guys to be locked in at 2-1, and the entire game. So, but he's certainly a guy that can bail you out when you make some mistakes. Like that penalty kill, we make 2 big mistakes, and he comes up big on both of those. Yeah, we just needed to keep playing, I think I would have loved a penalty call on the Lindgren hit, roughing. Would give our power play 2 minutes to get out there, still a few minutes to go, and then 6-on-5. I like our chances, especially after killing 3 in a row. But we didn't get the call, so you got to keep battling through it. I think that flips back and forth on a nightly basis. Sometimes they get they get you, and sometimes you're going to earn some power plays. I thought we did a little bit more to try and at least get that call, but. Yeah, besides that, I can't fault the guys' effort tonight, that's for sure. So we're playing hard, we're playing well. Sometimes you just don't put the puck in the net.
Marty's a very creative player, and a lot of times he'll dance around those guys in the neutral zone. In a tight game like that, are you still encouraging that creativity?
Yeah, I think he's got to be smart, time, and score. And that wasn't the worst part about it. Like the turnover, we get back, we're 3-on-3, but he lost his man coming to the net that scores on that. So. If you're going to turn it over there, you got to dig in on the defensive side of it, right? And you can't let them go to the net and get a free rebound. That's what happened.
It doesn't seem like there have been a lot of games, at least in the last 2 years, where the ice has been maybe an issue. But given you have such a talented, skilled team, on a day like today where it did seem like guys were falling, pucks bouncing, is there any sort of adjustment that you make during the course of that game, or do you just sort of?
No, I think you got to keep playing your game, and I don't know if the ice was bad or not. That's a better question for the players, But you got to play in all types of environments. Both teams are playing on the same ice sheet. I thought our execution was pretty good tonight. It's a tough checking game for sure. That's what the playoff games are going to be like. And it's a fine margin for error. So if you're not putting the puck in the net, and even if you're creating chances, you got to make sure that your checking game is tight. And like I said, I didn't love ours in the first, but I really liked it as the game went on. So except for the one go-ahead goal, right? So we have to be even sharper than we were tonight in order to win against really good teams come playoff time.
The conditions are the conditions, but is the ice weird when it goes basketball, hockey, basketball, hockey, basketball, hockey in this building?
I don't think that necessary, like, that certainly has an effect, but our building and ice crew's done a nice job of getting the sheet ready for us. Like, they cool off the building, they go to work on it, they work on it all day as soon as it gets changed over. I would say, like, the ice hasn't been the best sheet we played on here recently, but I think, you know, with all the changeover, lots of buildings have that, and once a building gets cooled off, the ice gets better, and like, but again, I don't know what it was like here tonight. You know, it didn't look that bad to me, but maybe it was.
Coach, when you have that kind of situation with that non-call on Lindgren, how much does that change the momentum for your team to try and, like, just keep?
Well, the biggest thing that changed momentum is we took 3 penalties, and we could have, like, one's undisciplined penalty, Ross, right? Mac eases up on the back check, guy goes by him instead of staying in front of him. I didn't love that call because it's stick on stick. I think he's got an argument there. Sam, inadvertent high stick, it's a penalty. The other one we put over the glass, right? But get 3 in the third period when you're trying to come back in a hockey game, that's what's going to kill the momentum. It's just that simple.
Just from your perspective, that hit on Ryan Lindgren, you would like to see a call there?
Yeah, I think it's roughing. You shoulder him as hard as you want. You could blow him up and put him in the next week. I'm fine with it. But, I mean, if you're going to take your hand and hit him in the head and knock his helmet off, it's a penalty.
You guys? Yeah, thank you.
You're saying that's a real playoff style game, that you thought you guys generated enough. Just from your perspective, what did you see out there in a real kind of slog type game?
I agree. It was tight check-in. There wasn't a lot of room to make too many plays. Yeah, it definitely reminded of playoff atmosphere and how it's, you know, what we're going to see down the road here in a little bit. They play desperate. They're a desperate team. They're making a pretty good push right now, so it's nothing we didn't expect. Their goalie played really well. They played good as a team. We had our chances. We just couldn't even things up.
In the 3 losses that you guys have had since you've gotten here, it's been 2-1, 2-1, 2-1 in the shootout. Like, is that a positive to say that, like, we're stingy even in a loss, or is that more of a negative to say that we're not scoring in some of these games?
It just depends how the game goes. I think most of the time here we're getting our opportunities. We want to be stingy. We want to be well defensively and play well in our own end and limit their opportunities and their scoring chances. When we do that, we're giving ourselves a pretty good shot to win hockey games. But our opportunities are usually there when we play the right way. And when we play the right way in our own zone, that's going to lead to more offensively. And sometimes you run into a hot goalie, like it happens. But you got to take the positives and the good things that we've done. There's some things that we can probably tighten up and look at. We'll go over video. But I think there's a lot of good in that too, and we just got to keep that in mind.
One of the good things, you guys take 3 penalties there in the third, but you kill all of them. How did that, how much of that is a positive to take out, and then how much of that did impact, the ability to generate momentum in that last frame?
Well, we want to stay out of the box, of course, right? Whether you agree with calls or not, whatever. But they call a penalty. All right, we have a job to do, an opportunity to gain some momentum from a big kill, and then a couple different ones there, which is huge for our game. It can kind of dampen them a little bit. And then we can get opportunities from that momentum that we just swayed for a good kill, and Blackie doing his thing, defensemen doing their job, and us forwards doing ours in front of them. So you got to use everything as an opportunity and a positive, and what we can gain from it. And I thought we did that during those kills. Didn't fully translate, but I think we had our opportunities though.
Speaking of that momentum, do you feel like you guys came in tonight with the momentum that you had from the last game?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a refocus thing every game, and you can sometimes carry some things, mentally, or things that you've done previous game or in the past that, you're feeling good about. Maybe it's your individual game, a team game, the way you're doing things, but there's always a refocus there, and making sure your mind's right for a new challenge, a new team coming in, what their tendencies are, how we get to play in our system. So it's always kind of that, switching, or flipping the switch rather, and making sure you're refocused to play a solid game again.
Thanks so much, Charlie.
Thanks, Charlie.
Yeah.
No room out there, even less room in the lanes. Just what was it about what they did that made it so difficult for you today?
Oh, I think it was both ways. Not a lot out there. It's hard to generate offense, and
more like playoff style hockey, and that's what it was. And we did enough, I think, to create enough looks to get some chances. And you know, the goalie played well, and they were able to get a few huge blocks on some really good looks we had. But generating, we did a good job, especially with how tough it was of getting enough, but just couldn't get it by.
Positives to take out of what, like you were just saying, both ways, it was hard to generate anything?
Yeah, I think we made it tougher on them as the game went on. First period, we gave them too many good looks. Black had to make too many saves that we didn't enjoy. You know, those looks just were too dangerous. Something that we're trying to shut other teams down on, and we were having a tougher time in the first of getting those looks. And then as the game went on, we generated more and got more opportunities, and it just shows how tight it can be out there with one mistake causing them to score, and you know, us having to try to fight to get one more.
Penalties called on you guys, especially how frustrating was that?
I don't know, not frustrating. We got to do a good job killing them, and you know, we couldn't on the first one, and then we adjusted and did a good job after that for the most part. But no, it's, you know, that's the way it's going to go some nights. Some nights you give them some freebies, some easy ones to call, and we didn't generate enough, you know, opportunities for them to get called on things. So nothing crazy on the penalty end.
You didn't feel they impacted the momentum or anything like that?
No, we're a team that generates the momentum with how we play, and when we're slow, we're just giving it to other teams. And tonight, when we were slow and when we were turning pucks over, we just gave them free momentum. And then you have to go and expend energy playing defense, and we want to play offense, and we have opportunities there, and you know, in the third to score a couple, and just couldn't, you know, get the job done on that side.
You don't get the result you want, but is that a nice tune-up for playoff style hockey?
Yeah, I think the last 5-6 games have been good tune-ups, and then we have another one on Monday, a team that's fighting for it too. So there's no easy games at this time, and we're trying to make up ground. So these games and these points matter to us.
Thanks so much.